Every single Monday, we like to take a look at some of the changes in the college football rankings, and we do it. Shout out to Jeff Banks with a little thing that we like to call Poll Assessment. New AP Top 25 poll had some teams tumbling. Okay. That among them included a 10-spot drop for Kansas State after imploding in Provo, as one does. Oklahoma dropping 6 spots after that loss to Tennessee. Oklahoma State dropping 6 spots after that loss to Utah at home. Some of the big moves up included a big jump for Michigan, as expected, after the win against USC. Louisville moving up 4 spots after beating the first team with the pulse, and just skyrocketing from way off the radar. BYU Cougars now 4-0 for the first time since 2012, checking in at number 22. Tom Fornelli, you had the joys of Sunday duty at CBSSports.com on the news desk. That includes the full breakdowns of all the polls. I'll let you get first word here. Anything stand out from the movement?
I was, I don't know if it's right. I was excited, I guess is the right word. No, excited is not the right word. I was pleased to see the response to Missouri struggling for the second straight week.
Great point.
We have seen, like, a lot of times the poll mentality is if you keep winning, they just leave you where they are. But they responded. Like, the voters actually moved Missouri down after a second straight kind of lackluster performance, but they didn't, completely kick them out. They're still 4-0. They should still be ranked highly if you really thought of them that well before the year. But moving Utah ahead of them after a win over Oklahoma State, moving Miami up a couple spots, Ole Miss and Tennessee swapping. So to me, that was really, it was another week where the top 10 really didn't suffer any losses. So I didn't expect there to be any major shakeups. So in a week like that, it would have been easy for every voter to just kind of just tick everything where it had been. So to see them actually think it through and say, you know what, I'm going to ding them a little bit, move them down. I was happy to see that.
I don't really have very many problems with this. I mean, it seems like moving Michigan up, good. Moving USC not too far down, also good. Like, those teams just played a game in Michigan, and Michigan won by a single score in which they also had a defensive touchdown. If they played tomorrow on a neutral site, you would take USC over them, but you should reward Michigan for winning the ball game as they did. So, yeah, I think it's intelligent voting that they did not drop USC. Oklahoma State should not be ranked. You just lost.
Thank you. Like, let's get them out.
Let's be real here. You looked like crap against Oklahoma State against Arkansas for much of the game, and that's not good. Oklahoma, look, think about the opponents Oklahoma's played now. I mean, Temple's really bad. Cincinnati just shut out Houston. Tulane was in a war with ULL for quite some time. So I don't really think Oklahoma, based on what you've done so far this year, should be ranked. But again, we know the AP poll is kind of like an amalgamation of power ratings and resume ratings and gut feel, and it's just kind of all mashed together. Nobody votes exactly the same way.
Blatant homerism sometimes too.
Totally. I mean, yeah, I don't know what Ole Miss has done to be rated above Miami or Penn State so far. Like, they've faced nobody, and they have an opportunity to move up if they would like to and win. Like, this weekend, if you smoke Kentucky, like, Kentucky is not good, but they at least have a pulse.
Yeah.
Right. They have some athletes on their team. So far, you haven't faced anybody with athletes.
This is where, like, I think they're getting better, but, like, in the truest sense of the word, if you wipe the slate clean and just did on resumes, how did you look? I don't think, like Missouri, I don't think you dropped them low enough. If you just went off how they look against some of these opponents, I also don't know if they're given enough credit to Illinois or Indiana, like, who's not
definitely not Indiana.
Right. Like Indiana, like, and then if you compare that to LSU, who looked okay against UCLA, but, like, that was at home. And if you look at what Indiana did to UCLA on the road, completely dominated that game. And they don't have a loss. Now, they've only played 3 games, so I get it. But, like, I just think there's still a lot of it that comes from preseason perception, and it still benefits certain teams and certain leagues way more than it does others.